Hey everyone, welcome back to Hazardous Opinions. Today I have a Sell Me episode to continue our spooky season because we're breaking the rules and making a nice transition into November. Before we get to that, a few programming reminders. We apologize, the schedule for episodes hasn't been consistent. It got messed up because of me being sick and going to Portland, so totally on me. Next episode will be a deep dive into Thanksgiving 2023. A big way you guys can help us is by following us and giving us 5 stars wherever you get your podcasts. Also, reach out to us with anything movies at hazardousopinionspod@gmail.com or on socials like TikTok and Instagram at hazardousopinionspod, and chat with us on Discord. We really appreciate all of you and your support. Now I'll be selling you The Babysitter 2017. This was directed by Mick G. He has also directed Charlie's Angels, This Means War, Family Switch, and Terminator Salvation. It's not a very stellar lineup of movies he's directed, and this is something I love about movies, is that you can find some diamonds in the rough that mean so much to you if you really look close enough. But he's also executive produced an awesome series like Supernatural, and one of my personal favorites, near and dear to my heart, Chuck. The Babysitter was written by Brian Duffield. Also, just wanted to make a big shout out to Martin Bernfeld. He's married to Kayla Empter, that is also an amazing film editor. She has been a really helpful figure in me navigating my personal desire to be a part of film in some fulfilling way in my life. This movie sparked us getting in contact with each other, and I'm so grateful, and it's a big reason why I chose The Babysitter. So thank you, Kayla. You are a wonderful friend, and I already know Martin is just as great of a person. Martin has also edited films like Power Rangers 2017, Hellboy 2019, The Babysitter Killer Queen, which is the sequel to this, and a 2024 film called Little Wing, so go check that out. That stars Brian Cox, which from Succession, and very, very famous actor, so go check that out. The plot of The Babysitter is, this is a horror comedy that follows a young, lonely 12-year-old boy named Cole that stays up past his bedtime and discovers that his hot babysitter belongs to a satanic cult that will stop at nothing to keep him quiet. This movie stars Samara Weaving, one of our favorite scream queens on the pod. She's so beautiful. She's charismatic, charming, expressive, and so funny as the character B in this movie. Judah Lewis is Cole. He's our 12-year-old boy we follow throughout the movie. He really nails it as a 12-year-old without getting on your nerves. He makes Cole the underdog you root for. It also stars Robbie Amell. We love him. Andrew Batchelor, King Batch, if anybody knows him from Vines. He always makes me laugh. And Bella Thorne and Hannah Mae Lee. The Letterboxd rating for The Babysitter is an average of 2.7 out of 5 stars. My personal rating for the movie would be 4 out of 5 stars. So quite a bit higher than the Letterboxd average rating. Hopefully you guys will kind of understand why. It's just a very personal movie if you aren't already getting that. Why you should watch. We're going fun and wacky this week instead of something straight out of your nightmares like we were going through a lot more dark stuff throughout Halloween. The Babysitter is extremely rewatchable and a film many can handle, unless you can't do blood and violence. But don't worry, it's all fake and adds to the goofy tone. Many horror comedies can be a blast, but possibly focus more on getting laughs and leaving other creativity to the wayside, such as story or character. The Babysitter doesn't lack those other aspects while being funny, and that's why I return to it all the time. The set design and the way it's incorporated into very prominent shots throughout the movie is so full of character, color, and it pokes at you because it does feel unique. There's a couch in Cole's living room that is a mustard yellow with a ton of chickens plastered all over it. Things like furniture, other objects, and even the color of the walls add to the wacky experience of it all. Whose kitchen is full on frickin' green like this? Like, come on. It's it's nice these set designs get to shine too, and they're shown very often. The graphics that pop up here and there remind you of something like watching Into the Spider-Verse. It's a comic book come to life, but it's used correctly and sparingly in this since it's live action. Cole being 12 years old and nerdy, we support. The graphics, sound effects add to the imagination of Cole and the perspective of a 12-year-old. The Babysitter does feel old school while mixing in modern aspects, down to the cinematography, the characters being the cool girl, jock, a cheerleader, rapper, the outcast, and objects being used, and the odd yet charming comedy. It's a great blend, though, while not falling so far into an 80s cult slasher knockoff. Story is something I try and identify with for films, as I've mentioned before. This contains a genuinely touching bond between Cole and his babysitter B. This central connection keeps you entertained, locked in, and it brings complicated feelings like betrayal and confusion. Being a 26-year-old man, obviously, yes, at some point I was a 12-year-old boy. I can't relate to Cole having a babysitter at 12, but I did have a teenage girl as a babysitter when I was younger. I remember wanting to impress her. I remember wanting to be her closest friend. I remember having an actual crush on her, even though I was probably, geez, like 8 years old, 9 years old. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe even younger there. Honestly, couldn't even tell you her name or exactly when this was, but watching this movie, it's like a flash from the past. You look up to this woman. You hope she actually enjoys spending time with you. And God forbid she has friends that she, brings over occasionally and you don't ever want to seem lame, right? Especially when your babysitter does care about you and actually looks after you. That's who my babysitter was, so I really do relate to Cole on a deep level throughout this movie. Another reason why I really relate to Cole, I did play with action figures a little longer than I should have. Getting a little personal there. I was overly nice. I was respectful. I was nerdy, and ultimately, I was a bit lonely. I was lonely in my interests. That's exactly why I'm grateful for people like Ashley, Andy, and Eric that share in those interests, and also people in my life that try and share in those interests. So, like, thank you. Thank you to those guys. Can't go into detail as much as I'd like to with how the story progresses, but along with me saying that the babysitter has an awesome blend of both horror and comedy, Cole is such an endearing character that even his interactions with the murderous friends of B are lighthearted quite often. Each character, apart from B and Cole, also stands out and have differing personalities and so individualized. To me, as a hopeless romantic young boy, I might still be. This was one of my first experiences of envisioning the woman I would end up marrying. Sounds extremely cheesy, but when you watch B and Cole, Cole really worships B and not in that creepy way. She is his dream woman. She's charming, sexy, a goddess, quick witted, outgoing, and adaptable with always being herself and not apologizing for it. Empathetic, someone to look up to, and ultimately a best friend. I can say I've had a dream woman, kind of envision, not an exact woman, but you know what I'm talking about. Luckily enough for me, my dream woman did come into my life unexpectedly, and I'm lucky enough to still have her somehow. Along with the character interactions, bloody, but in a fun way, kills, and the tone, the plot of The Babysitter stands up every single rewatch. I'd say this has a lot to do with the tightly knitted writing and not falling into the trap of stretching too thin and doing too much. There's a supernatural element, yes, but no long-winded lore downloads you for you to listen to. It's simple, and I like that they keep it that way. This film knows what it is and it owns it with a non serious, cheesy, and thrilling tone. It really rides that line of danger and lightheartedness with finesse. So, if you want to laugh instead of scream or jump, remember what it's like to have a babysitter you look up to, and love an underdog story, then this is the film for you. The Babysitter reminds me of Freaky, and I'd say Freaky just because of the comedy and light tone to it, even though it is pretty violent and slasher ish. I mean, Freaky isn't in the cult realm, but when you watch them back to back, they do kind of feel in the same vein for tone, at least. I would say scary movie, just because, oh wow, just some of the lines in this movie and the dialogue is just it's so quick-witted, and also like the first couple scary movies are as well, I feel. And it's paying homage to past horror, but not shitting on it, I could say. It pays respect still. And Home Alone, because our titular character, Cole, being a 12-year-old boy, yes, not as young as Kevin, and not during Christmas, and also it's just his parents that leave him just for one night, and they don't forget about him. It's intentional to leave him alone at the house with a babysitter at least. But the having to deal with your surroundings, your own home, and what you know best compared to these people, he doesn't do whole setups like Kevin does, but little set pieces in the home are very fun, and how Cole protects himself. So you'll get that feeling of Home Alone still. Don't worry. Where to watch? This is available to stream on Netflix because it is a Netflix original. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for listening to my Selmy on The Babysitter 2017. That's all I have for it. Lastly, make sure to follow us on socials on TikTok and Instagram at Hazardous Opinions Pod. Join us on Discord and follow our individual accounts on Letterboxd. All of the links will be in the episode description for you guys. If you want to reach out to us, you can email us at hazardousopinionspod@gmail.com. Also, if we could have you guys follow and rate us wherever you get your listening today, it helps out a ton. We appreciate your support, and thank you so much for listening, everybody. Bye.